Hello everyone, it's Susan here. Welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to continue in my Just Because book, which is something that Susan Taylor Brown thought up, and so I'll have her link below, and it's something she's done for a while, and I just learned about it, so I figured, well, I want to make one. So this is my Just Because book, and this video is all about crafty chit chat and slow stitching. So let's begin. So I do have a playlist below of all of my videos for this Just Because book, so you can check that out. It's down in my description box. And so my journal is 5 inches by 4 inches, and what I'm using for the base of it is a linen napkin. And I have I did a lot this week. I couldn't keep my hands off of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do anything I want. It doesn't matter. It's like very freeing. And it's like, oh my gosh, I want to put like everything in this one little book. Just everything, right? So the last video I had sewn down the fabric, and I put this piece down right here. But this time I sewed on a little, it's like almost like a wooden flower. I did a little bit of ruffles up here. That's a piece of a sari. I did some couching here with some white fabric. I added a flower and did some pistol stitches. So this flower is a paper flower. I'm not sure if it's a Recollections or a Prima. I'm not sure who made the flower, but I had it in my stash, and I put some pretty lace on here. I did a little clustering of fabrics down here. I did some stitching over here. So I am almost done with this, and then we are going to look at how am I going to do the pages inside, because I have a plan and I have some fabrics cut. So we will go ahead and just finish. I just wanted to put I don't know, maybe 2 or 3. I know you're supposed to have 3, but hey, this is just because I can do that whatever I want. So I may go against the grain and put 2. So I'm gonna sew down these little pieces of sequin, and I'm just going to use some thread I have threaded up. So I'm using thread that I have a lot of and I don't use really at all. So, that's one of the goals for this. Oh, this is never going to work. Look at the size of this needle. It's humongous. Let me find something now with a much smaller. Here we go. This I'm hoping will get through the sequin. So I'm just going to kind of do this. I'll just kind of go up, put the sequin on. I'm going to put it right onto the needle. Let me zoom in just a little bit. And we're just going to do a really quick, easy stitch. And I think the next one, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, but I'll just put a stitch to the side, and I'm going to see if I can get through that hole one more time. But the next one I want to go in from the top, and I want to leave it like with a knot on the top of it. So like, to me, that is good. You could keep going. You could put more, make it look like a flower. You can do, whatever you would like. I'm stuck here. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm all tangled. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm just going to tie. Well, you know what? I don't need to tie it off. Well, no, I do need to tie it off if I want to go in from the top. So I'm just gonna give that a quick little knot. And so like I said, I'm having a ball with this Just Because book. If if you've never done something like this, yeah, it's almost, it's basically, I look at it as no rules, right? So, of course, when we're working on a project, it should always be something that we like, we enjoy, we like the outcome. But this to me is very different because, so I guess because I'm putting things on here that normally I wouldn't put together. So there's a lot going on here, right? But I'm liking that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to do this one super easy, and I hope it never comes off, but I'm just going to go in once from the top. The knot is up there, and I'm going to tie it off, and everybody's probably saying, oh no, go through it once more, but no, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, right? This is so fun. So that's going to be it. I will do 2 knots here on the back for this one to make that a little sturdier. Okay. So the sequins are on. I like that very much. I like the way that they look. I was thinking this spot right here, right there, was looking a little too bare. I was thinking of even putting a couple sequins up here. I kind of like that. I like how they're separated like that. That's what I'm going to do. And then we'll be done with the front cover. So let me tell you a little bit about my thoughts for what I'm going to use to decorate the pages and everything. So as you can probably tell, I think a big theme of this is going to be flowers. Yeah, so I went and I looked through some of my stash, and I found these little cheap flowers. They're basically they're paper, really. And I'm like, you know what? I want to use a bunch of flowers because I have a lot of flowers because, well, I love flowers. And I'm like, well, this particular book can have a lot of my flowers in it so that I use them up. And so you're going to see a lot of flowers on here. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. So that's one of the thoughts I have going on in my head as far as, let's see, where do I want to put this? As far as, how I'm envisioning this Just Because book. Because you do need, I feel like I do need some sort of a plan. And so let me share with you something else here. Let me just knot this. And then my front cover is done. Could I keep going on it? Absolutely. But I do want to get onto the inside. I think that this is perfect. Perfect. What do you think? Lots going on, lots of colors, lots of textures, lots of shapes, right? I have everything from wood to yarn to thread to paper to sari silk, right? I have some more silk down here, a little bit of a curtain, so there's a lot going on there and I'm loving it. So the other thing I wanted to show you is, remember, well, I can't get to it right now because I have stuff on top of it, but in the last video, so definitely go check it out. It's in the playlist below. I have these bins where I keep a lot of, you know, fabric scraps and lace scraps and that kind of stuff. So I knew I wanted to use a bunch of that stuff. But I wasn't sure how organized I was going to be about it. And then I decided, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and take a handful out of each. So I grabbed the handful from the fabric stash, right, my little bin, and I grabbed a bunch from the more lacy kind of stuff. And I just have them next to me. They're just here. And as I work, I'm going to look through that because I don't want to have two huge bins. I'm not going to carry them around, first of all. And second of all, it's too much to look through, right? I have plenty. So let me kind of move this over. I don't know if you can see. So it's right here on my mat. And I have my two little bundles. And so this is more fabrics. This is more lacy kind of stuff. And they're just there, which is perfect because, yeah. And then I do have some of my yarns and stuff also with me to use, along with the thread that I showed you before. So anyway, so that's kind of my setup. And then I have, I'll just show you, let me see, let me move this. I do have my little pin cushion there. I do keep at least a couple threads on here with me. I have some charms and buttons, and I have my needle thing here. So that's basically what I have, and I do actually carry this mat from room to room. So right now I'm working in my craft room, but I do for the most part have this in my living room during the week, because I do work full time right now. I'm retiring end of May. And it's funny because this mat is flimsy. So I was recently cleaning out my basement and I found this humongous, well, it's a world atlas. I mean, you know, it's from 1996. It measures 11 inches by 15 inches. It weighs a ton. But I put it under this mat. And I can have it on my lap and work, and my mat isn't flopping around. So one other thing I want to show you as far as our crafty chit chat here is I did recently purchase some fabrics. And sorry, you can hear my parrot. He's going crazy at the moment. But anyway, and I do have these 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares of fabric out here as well, because I do know I want to use some of these in this book. And there's 200 of them. Okay, so let's talk about the inside, and we're going to actually start on the first page. So what I have planned is I actually cut a couple pages out from their linen napkins. You're going to see me use a lot of linen napkins in this project. And I get them at a thrift store for next to nothing. So I cut one of the linen napkins into 2 pages. There's nothing neat about the way I cut them. They're very rugged, not even straight. But so my plan is, and I may add more pages, I'm going to see how it comes along. But with just this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, so I have 8 pages. I don't know if I need more than that or not, I don't know. But then I also took, this is an old crewel kit, the fabric, right? You can see the design printed on it. And this piece I cut up into 3 blocks. So I'll be cutting up more, but for now, this is what I did. And I actually ironed this piece. I have my new little iron, which I've had for a few months but never used. And oh my gosh, I used it today for the first time and I loved it. So, and it worked really, really, really well because this fabric was quite messy and now it's nice and flat. So these are the first 3 blocks that I have, right? So my plan is this, that I'm going to work on this block now. I'm going to start it with all of you. And eventually I'll be putting it onto the first page. And then the second block that we work on will go on the other side of that page. And you can see right now this is a little bit big, but once I do all this stitching, I expect it to shrink up a little bit. I'll see. But my plan is this, to make it as easy as possible, is I will sew both blocks on one page at the same time. I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know how, because I have to wait to see how big the blocks end up being. But yeah, so that is my plan. And then to get the pages in, I will go ahead and just do a little bit of stitching right down the middle. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Yeah, so that's my plan. So that's what the inside of the book will look like. So I do have to do something with this though, right? So maybe what I'll do is make another block and just sew it right there. The back is fine because, well, I didn't do anything on the back. I don't know if I will. I'll see. If I do, I can put another block on the back. But the way it looks right now, obviously I don't need to put anything there. So maybe this first block, no, well, I don't know. Well, let's just make it and then I'll figure out where it's going to go. Okay, so my thought for today is to start with some of this fabric, these little pieces. I'm really liking this blue. So I thought maybe we would start with a block of blue. And what else? So like I like this as well. This was holding a roll of fabric together. I like that. And I actually like that little bow too. Something to think about, right? What else? Because I think in my head, what's making sense to me at this moment, this second in time right now, is to get fabric down. So I could do something like that. Of course, I could pull in much brighter colors if I wanted to. I think I like that. I mean, there's like, it's like endless. So I'm going to stop looking because I could be looking at that, for the next 3 hours. So I'm going to stop that. So I'm going to kind of go with this plan right here. So keep it easy and have fun, right? Right. Okay. So I'm just going to pin this in place, these two up here, just to hold them there. And then let's figure this out. What I'm kind of feeling like is this. I'm going to cut this in half, and then what I'll do is I'll turn this piece over and put that there. Oh, look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, super cute. Okay. Now, if I was working on something bigger and, I don't know, something that I felt like I needed to do more of a perfect type job, I would probably baste this stuff down, take the needles out. I do like to do the cantha stitch on a lot of my work. but I don't think I'm going to do it on this one. And so the cantha stitch, I don't know if I have my project here for Roxy. And this was not narrow enough, but the cantha stitch is just the running stitch going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it should be much, 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 much closer than that. But that's what the cantha, Kantha stitch is. All right, so all I want to do at this point is get this down. So let's go ahead and let's thread a needle using this pretty light blue. And we'll go ahead, get that. And you'll see that I never thread a needle without this little threader. I don't. I know that I would struggle at it, and so I just forego that whole struggling piece of it. I just go right for that little threader thing. Okay, so all I want to do at this point, I don't need to do anything fancy, because this is the base page, right? So even on the cover, what did I do with my cover? I lost it already. Here it is. Even on the cover, that's what I did, right? I just did a stitch around the pieces that I sewed on. And then, like, there's no sense in doing anything super fancy because I'm going to cover it up. So right now, all I'm interested in is doing a running stitch and getting this fabric down. So let's see, I wanted to give an update on my retirement. So a lot of you know I was supposed to retire January 31st, which would be actually the day that this video is going out. So, sorry, that's my parrot. He's at the other end of the house. And he's making a racket. I'm sorry. I hope he's not too annoying. He's fine. He's like not even in his cage. He's on his cage. He's almost never in his cage. His cage is almost always open. And yeah, he's a conure. And if you're familiar with parrots at all, conures are just loud. And that's just how they are. It's like a dog barking. He gets so excited about things, and he gets very vocal, and that's fine. But anyway, so I was supposed to be, my last day of work was supposed to be the day this video goes out. And well, yeah, so my boss asked me to stay because the system that I'm responsible for at work was hit by ransomware in early December. And yeah, so we're just coming back online, and it's going to be a long time before I can get everything cleaned up. It's just a mess. It's a mess. It's a total mess. And it's a system that actually pays employees, so it's super, super important. But we didn't miss a payroll. We paid everybody on time since December 11th. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good, but it's been very difficult. So anyway, so he asked me to stay. I think he would have asked me to stay anyway. Let's see, what am I doing here? Can I do both of these? I can actually do both of these little blocks together. I just need to get closer to this edge right here. So anyway, so we've hired my replacement, and I'm training this guy, and he's awesome. And except, I've been at my company for over 18 and a half years, and it's very hard to teach somebody what you know from 18 and a half years, right? So anyway, that's the scoop for work. So oh, I didn't tell you. So I'm staying for 4 extra months. So I will be working until May 31st. And it works out well for me because, well, I'll be collecting Social Security and all that stuff. And it helps, to get a little bit more money every month for me. So trust me, I made the decision to stay 4 more months, really looking at my personal circumstances. And of course I do care about the company I work there. I mean, I've been there so long, right? I do care very much about it. So I did it for them as well, but it also helps me out with Social Security. So that's the scoop on that. So at the end of May, well, in May, I'm planning on having a giveaway, and I will actually be giving away, I'm thinking, I don't know, 2 or 3 slow stitch pieces. I actually have one of them done, and it's my red and green slow stitch project, and I'll have all those videos in my slow stitch playlist below. And so that's one of them. So I have one done, and I'm gonna do either 1 or 2 more slow stitch pieces, and I'll have a giveaway for that month. And I was thinking of doing something like, and I don't normally do something like this, and that's why I tend to hesitate a little bit. But like to enter, like I want it to be, like I don't want it to just be like where I say, oh, well, if you put out this video, that will be your entry. Well, no, I want it to be open to anybody and everybody, whether you have an Instagram account, a YouTube account, or no account, right? You don't have to have any account anywhere. You don't have to. So I think, so that's the reason why I'm leaning towards doing something like, so mail me a piece of fabric or lace. And what I'm talking about, that was very Jersey of me, wasn't it? What I'm talking about is a piece like this. I'm talking about a little piece of scrap fabric or something like this. A little piece of lace, something that you put in a mailing envelope, and you put a stamp on it and you throw it in the mail. That's all I want. If I get more than 1 piece from anybody, I will not be happy. I want it to be, well, because first of all, I would use everything that I got, right, eventually. And I think it's a good way for, oops, oh, I'm going to leave it. I just went the wrong way. I was supposed to go up top, and I went from the bottom, but I'm going to leave it. Ow, oh, now I just pricked my finger. So anyway, so that's what I'm thinking about, and that will be in May. And I would run it for, I don't know, probably 3 weeks in May. And then at the end of May, select winners randomly, of course. And yeah, so that's my plan. So I think that will be fun. And I think that, I don't know, I think everybody in the crafty world would like that, even if you're somebody that doesn't do slow stitching. Like paper crafters, I am a paper crafter as well, and I think a lot of people have lace, or I could even add ribbon to that list, right? That might be good for paper crafters, where it could even be, you know, just like a 4-inch piece of a ribbon that they may use in their scrapbooking or card making, right? So I want to make it as inclusive as as possible. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, I've never done anything where I said, oh well, if you mail me something, I'll send you something, or do something for you, right? But in this case, I think that might be the best way to go. So that's what I have going on in my head at the moment. So that's that scoop. So as far as like a more of a slow stitcher, that kind of update, I did post a video on Saturday about a fabric haul that I recently purchased, and it arrived. So I did a little video sharing what I got and where I got it from. So let's see. So you can check out that video as well, because I found this Etsy shop that I just thought that the prices were phenomenal, and I wanted to share it with everybody, but I can't even remember the name of the shop right now. So you'll have to really look at that video, but wait until you see what I got. I mean, so I purchased 3 of I call them fabric rolls. I don't know what they're really called, but it's just where you have, and they're like 2.5 inches wide, and it's just, they're all rolled up, right? And then there's the pretty, you know, something ties it. In fact, this came from one of them, this that I'm sewing down right now. And so I bought 3 of those, 3 different types of fabric. One was floral, one was sunflowers, and one was what I call solids. Even though there's a pattern on them, they're all different colors. So like I would use that as solids on a piece if I was looking for, you know, a piece of solid color fabric. And then I also got, they had these like scrap groupings of fabric, and I actually purchased 2 different ones of that. And then that's where I got these 200 little pieces of 2.5 by 2.5 pieces of fabric, and everything was either $10 or $11 each, or the one that was a little bit more expensive, and it was $15, was the roll of the sunflower fabric, and it is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's all I can say. So anyways, that's my haul, my new news as far as anything that I've purchased recently. So that was a lot of fun to get that in the mail for sure. So I don't know what I have. Oh, I don't know. I got all kinds of stuff going on here. I don't know. Looks fine to me. Whatever. Okay. So let me see how long I have the video going on at this point. I'd like to keep it at about 30 minutes. Let's see. So I am at 34. I've gone over, and that's okay. So that's going to be it for today. So again, this is going to open. There's going to be my pages here. And again, this is not real neat. I have to iron these and everything. And then this is going to end up on my first page. Of course, we're going to do a lot more decorating. We're going to put some flowers and who knows what else on it, right? Who knows? So I will see you next Monday for another episode of my Just Because book. All right, thanks everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.